Hello, my name is Stephen Hadhazi. I am a public insurance adjuster and software developer, and I'm here today to show you how to go about loading DocuDemon and getting started using DocuDemon. We're going to go over here to the DocuDemon folder, come up here to the setup.exe folder, go ahead and click on that. We're going to click Next. We're going to agree to the software licensing agreement right after you read it very thoroughly. Click the Next button. You can hit just me or everyone. It really doesn't matter. Give it a couple of seconds to load onto your computer. And click Close. I'm going to close that out, and right now you should have over on the bottom of your desktop a DocuDemon shortcut. Go ahead and click on that. There's going to be some information about me. Make sure you read this thoroughly. It's very important. It notes that I do appraisals, I'm a public adjuster, an umpire, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and get into DocuDemon. Let's go ahead and maximize this window so that we can take a look at all the information. We start out with the scheduler, then we go to the SMTP POP, and the Contact Manager tab. We're going to stay in the SMTP right now, and I'm going to show you that there's some numbers already filled out in the ports, okay? And that's specific to Gmail. We also have up here at the host name the smtp.gmail.com and pop.gmail.com. That's because, you know, most people are going to use Gmail when they're using DocuDemon. You can, however, use your own email. It's just easier to create a free Gmail account, and I'm going to go through a whole tutorial showing you how to do all of that. So let's go ahead and hit paste. I'm going to put the username that I had created for Gmail. In that other video I was just referencing, we had created a username, and notice that over here in the SMTP settings it automatically puts that username on the other side, and well, we're going to go ahead and put the password in there, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to push the password over into the other blank, so you don't have to do that. It has some information about the send and receive every 5 minutes. You can change that to 1 minute or to longer if you like, but 5 minutes is probably about right. And once you're satisfied that you have all that information correct, then you'll just go ahead and you'll hit that apply button. And we will go ahead and go to what's next, and that would be the Contact Manager. Now, a lot of you have been so gracious as to allow me to use your personal fax numbers and email addresses and all that, and names, company names, personal names to test DocuDemon, and so I'm taking advantage of your generosity. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in a bunch of information, and we're going to test DocuDemon. It's going to be tested using some of your own account information. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to hit the Add button. Or actually, I'm sorry, we're going to go ahead and just fill in the information, then hit the Add button. The first one is me, of course. So I'm going to hit my information, then click the Add button. We're going to enter in Pete Johnson's information. Now you'll notice that Pete's got some parentheses after his fax number. We don't like parentheses in DocuDemon. We just want numbers, and we don't even want spaces, and we don't want hyphens. We don't want anything. We don't even want you to put a 1. You'll notice how there's a 1 at the beginning of this fax number. It's going to end up having a 1 on it because that's what eFax requires. eFax requires there be a 1 at the beginning of every fax number, but DocuDemon is going to insert that 1 for you. Okay, and so you'll notice that all these numbers already have a 1 right here before the prefix. You can choose a, and let me mention the mail to. A lot of times when you're copying and pasting an email address in there's going to be this little mail to colon and then the email address. You need to remove that. Because DocuDemon will not work well with that. I may in the future make it to where it recognizes when someone pastes some mail to in there and it'll delete it for you automatically. But anyway, those are the things to look out for. We've got a whole list of people here that we can play with. So some of you, if you're on this list, you may be receiving emails and faxes from us as we test DocuDemon. There's business names here on some, and some don't have business names. I did that on purpose. So even if you do have a business name, Julie, I didn't put it in there. We're just testing it without a business name. Notice that all the fax numbers have ones, even though we didn't put we didn't put ones in there. We just put numbers. I mean, no spaces, no hyphens, no parentheses, just numbers. Information's correct. And we're going to go ahead and go to the scheduler. Now we're going to hit New Project here at the bottom. There is a link down there. If you don't have an eFax account, you can click on that link. It'll take you to efax.com where you can register for an eFax account. I'm not going to click it right now, but you can go to it later. So let's go ahead and we're going to click New Project. I'm going to show you how to create your own, your first project. So right here under Enter Project Name, we do allow like first name, last name, first name, comma, last name. We do allow commas. Right now I'm not allowing any hyphens or special characters to be put in this information, in this field. So Johnson, comma, Smith, and then you can put a short description like request for policy info. Later on I may expand that where you can put a pretty detailed explanation of what exactly this project is about, but for now this will suffice. And so once you get that information put in there, you just press OK. Right up here is where your recipients go. There's a whole list of the people that are in our contact manager. There's myself. There's Pablo Ortega, who's agreed to participate in our little study. You'll notice it has a 1 before his fax number. It says send fax and it says send email. Now you can uncheck that send fax if you just want to send Pablo an email, or maybe you just want to send him a fax. Well, then you'd uncheck send email. Sometimes insurance companies like maybe State Farm, for instance, they don't want to give you their email address, and so you might have an adjuster's email address, his personal email, but you're not going to be able to send one typically to a State Farm claim. So you might uncheck that and send just fax. Down here under the carbon copy, this is for if you wanted your customer to know that you're actually doing work on his claim. Then you would maybe CC your customer a fax or an email every time you sent something in to him. Process fax returns. The fax tracking ID is used by eFax. Okay, so it's going to just basically use the project name as the tracking ID because they're all going to be unique. And that way eFax can keep track of it. Over here under the email tab, if you're sending an email, you do want to put a subject in. Okay, and go ahead and put just a short message, like see attached policy information, something like that. Over here under the attachments section, okay, you're going to click the add button to add attachments. They need to be PDF files. In the future I may make it where you can add all sorts of different files, but please for now limit it to PDFs. Okay, just print things into a PDF. If you don't have a piece of software like Adobe that will print to a PDF, then I recommend there's a Nitro PDF you can download, and there's several of the free PDF programs out there. But it's going to include the attachments in the order in which you attach them pursuant to the fax portion. Okay, so in other words, if you attach your fax cover sheet first, it's going to fax first, which is important. And then you'd want the body of your fax to go next. Okay. This right here is start sending on today's date at 5 a.m. We can change that to 12 noon if we wanted to. This right over here is going to tell you, resend the document after the selected amount of days, 1 or 2 or 3. In this case, we're going to send it once a week, and this is how many times we're going to send it. So it'll be sent a total of 4 times, 1 week apart. And just please remember, guys, do not spam people. Don't send them 4 faxes or 4 emails a day for 7 days a week for 365 days. You'll get sued. Don't do that. It's spamming. Please obey the law when using the program. So here are the projects. There's the print report section. We're not going to get into the print report section really in this video, but it's going to show reports of faxes and emails that you've sent that you can then print and put in your file. I'm going to show you a little bit about the how eFax recognizes, you see this email in my new fax account 0202@gmail.com, that one we created earlier in the other video. That needs to be added to your eFax account, okay? Because if you do not add that, when you send a fax using eFax, it will not recognize the fact that you are a paying member of eFax, and the fax won't go through. So you need to make sure you add whatever Gmail address you're using to send faxes into that. And you can do that at efax.com. You log into your account and you can get that done, just where I showed you. And you see where we just went ahead and hit the start button, and that would allow you to start the fax or the emailing immediately rather than having to wait until the first, let's say you set it for noon and it's 10 a.m. and you want to send it out now. Well, you want all the other faxes to go out at 10 a.m., but for today you want that first one to go out immediately. Well, then you just hit that button over there that said send now. And that's kind of what that does.